He's calling in from the United States Open. Why don't you? It is a big first day at Pebble Beach, and a man who's been in this tournament many times, a longtime professional player on the tour and broadcaster. We got Peter Jacobsen calling in from the U.S. Open. How you doing, Peter?
Rich, I'm doing great. It's chilly out here. First round excitement. Fans are piling in, and so many storylines to talk about.
Yeah. So what's the first one that leaps to mind for you for this year?
Well, the first one that leaps to mind is Brooks Koepka trying to win 3 in a row. Nobody's won 3 U.S. Opens in a row for over 100 years. The next storyline would be Tiger. Tiger trying to win his second major of the year, and the third would be Phil Mickelson trying to complete the career Grand Slam. He's finished second 6 times in the U.S. Open, and he has the best chance to win the U.S. Open right here at his beloved Pebble Beach.
Now, normally I would say, how does this course set up for which golfer does this course set up best? But, Tiger once won there by 15, so I guess that would answer the question. Right, Peter?
Yeah, Rich, I think when you start trying to compare eras and LeBron to Kobe and Jack to Tiger, I think you have to look at the dominating performances, and there was no more dominating performance in the U.S. Open than right here when Tiger won by 15 shots. That's like winning the Indy 500 by 15 laps. It just doesn't happen. And I think that's what sets Tiger apart and why I think he has a great chance this week. He loves this place. He knows how to play here. And even at 43 with all the back surgeries and knee surgeries, he's still one of the favorites.
Well, while we're comparing, or at least discussing about comparing eras, who does Brooks Koepka compare to perhaps from when you played? Is there any comparison at all?
There's no comparison. It's hard to quantify guys like Brooks and Dustin Johnson. They're such great athletes. When you watch them walk, they've got that swagger and the way they're built. They look like they should be playing shooting forward for the Golden State Warriors, or maybe defensive end for the Dolphins. They just look different than your average golfer. And the way they play, they've got power, they've got finesse, they've got touch around the greens. It's kind of the new prototypical golfer.
So, again, when you were on the tour, the PGA Tour, did no one get in the gym? I mean, were there gyms for rats? Nothing, huh? Nobody?
No, nobody got in the gym back then. It was all about just keeping your flexibility and stretching and trying to watch your diet. Nowadays, Tiger came along, and he's eating nuts and bolts for breakfast, and he's lifting heavy weight before and after. You got guys like Rory and Jason Day and Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth, Brooks, Dustin. These guys lift unbelievable weight in the gym like a real athlete. Golfers, my era, we're not athletes, but the kids today, they are real athletes.
So I guess the question I have for you then is, do you have a golfer or a player that we're not talking about that you like, that you've seen, that you think the U.S. Open's got a shot to see win it all?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Patrick Cantlay. Patrick, who won 2 weeks ago in Jack's tournament. Man, he had some great players staring him down, coming down the stretch, and he played precision golf, played much like Nicklaus did back in the day, just fairway and greens. You got to do that here at Pebble to win. I think your dark horse sleeper would be Patrick Cantlay.
And the way the course that you've seen it set up, are we going to have any complaints? People saying it's too tough? Usually we see that from time to time with the United States Open. What about this time at Pebble, Peter?
Of course, us professional golf, us pro athletes, going to complain no matter what. And that's the one thing that Nicklaus always said when I played a lot with Jack. He said, look, I can count on probably half the field to be out of it before the first ball is struck, because everyone's going to complain about fast greens, hard greens, long, rough, tight fairways. So, yeah, I think that you're going to get your requisite amount of complaining.
Peter Jacobsen here on the Rich Eisen Show. What's your favorite hole on the course?
Number 8.
Why?
I think it's the best hole in golf. Par 4, plays right along the edge of the Pacific Ocean. Your second shot from the fairway's got to carry a big cavern, a big barranca, and the green is set right against the hill. Really small little green. It's like trying to hit to the hood of your car and stop it. It's my favorite hole in golf.
In all of golf, huh? The entirety of the golf world, number 8 at Pebble.
You got it.
And then what makes a United States Open more difficult to win, you think, than any other tournament?
I think the USGA does such a good job. They don't get enough credit for the good stuff they do. They're the governing body in the golf in the United States, and I think what they try to do is identify the best golfers by putting so much strain and pressure on them, patience, putting the ball in play. They reward precision as much as they do distance and power. And let's not forget, accuracy counts in golf, like it does in every other sport. And we see golf kind of morphing into this power game. The U.S. Open and the USGA is here to remind us that accuracy is just as important as power in golf.
And where does it rank? Because I've got Costner on the show tomorrow. The United States Open rank with Tin Cup, Peter.
Well, seeing is that I won the U.S. Open in Tin Cup, and I just had to beat Costner and Don Johnson. Is probably the proudest moment of my golf career.
That ranks up there, right there, beating Don Johnson and Costner.
Yeah, one of the greatest lines in the movie. My kids love it. When I laid it up on the 72nd hole of the Open, Costner turned to Cheech and said, "Jacobsen's laying up." My kids thought that was the greatest thing in the world. He said, "Kevin Costner just said our name."
That would be my ringtone. You know, like I'd make that my ringtone on my phone anytime it rings. It would just Jacobsen's laying up. That's fantastic.
You know, that's a great idea. I'm going to try to get that done.
Who was the best celebrity golfer you ever played with? Obviously, you won the Pro-Am on Pebble. Who's the best one you've ever teed it up with, Peter?
Best celebrity golfer I ever played with was Danny Ainge. He used to play for, obviously, the Celtics, the Blazers. Now he's the GM with the Celtics. I played a lot of golf with Danny. Danny Ainge at one point, if he wanted to go a different direction and play golf, he could have played professionally. Don't know if he could have got his card, but he would have been very close.
All right, and then if you don't mind, who's on the opposite end of the spectrum? A celebrity, a golfer, a player that you're like, oh gosh, I mean this.
I got to go with my pal Charles Barkley. Our pal Charles. Charles is real good on the practice range. I do the NBC broadcast at the American Century Celebrity Tahoe every year, and I love to talk to Charles. He hits it really good on the range, Rich, but when he gets on the golf course, he's not able to take it from the range to the course for some reason.
It's between the temples, isn't it, Peter? It's definitely there.
It's right upstairs, and but nobody has more fun than Charles Barkley.
You know what? Obviously, teeing off with him would be for so many people a dream come true. All right, before I let you go, who are you hanging with for the U.S. Open this time around? What do you got going on today?
I'm here at the Lexus Performance Tent. Lexus has got over 300 automobiles running around the 17-mile drive, providing courtesy transportation. I'm just kind of hanging with my crew, just a lot of friends and family here, but the guy I'm laying money on this week, I'm going to go with Dustin. Dustin Johnson's my guy.
Dustin Johnson. So is that just because it's his time and Koepka, the odds of him doing it 3 straight times? Our interview started with you saying it's been 100 years since we've seen somebody do that. Is that essentially what I'm walking through your process?
Yeah, I think you're right. Plus, what's cool about the U.S. Open is it goes from different golf course to different course. Next year, we're back to New York at Wingfoot. This year at Pebble Beach. So it really takes something special, somebody special. And Koepka is a very special player. But to win 3 in a row, there's a reason why it hasn't been done since 1905. It's hard to do.
Peter, you're the man. Thanks for joining. Enjoy the time. I'd love to have you on any other time as well. And certainly if you're here in Los Angeles, right here in studio, I'd love it.
You got it, Rich. Thanks for having me.
Good
Keep
chat.
up the great work.
You too. Thanks. That's Peter Jacobsen at Jake Trout on Twitter and Peter Jacobsen Golf on Instagram here on The Rich Eisen Show from the U.S. Open.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download The Rich Eisen Show app.